Anyway, let me start off talking about Osman because I think that's the place to start this evening. So Victor Osimhen set to snub a move to Manchester United, but not just a move to Manchester United. This is coming in the last couple of hours. Fabrizio Romano has spoken about it as well. Effectively, Al Hilal are not out of the race for Osimhen. Although he didn't join them last week for the Club World Cup, they still believe that a deal can be done, and they're very confident that they'll still get him because they can offer more money than anybody else can, which makes me believe that Osimhen's agent is probably going around Europe saying we could have earned this money in Saudi, so we want ridiculous money here, which no one's really going to offer up. Also coming out as well, Osman's priority is to play Champions League football next season. Man United and AC Milan are therefore not seen as front runners. So, look, I said this morning about Osman. I mean, obviously, you have to take every story with a pinch of salt slightly because you don't necessarily know how it's going to pan out. But what is certainly relevant is how long would this deal take with Osman? Can Manchester United, on arguably their most important position, can they afford to wait and see what happens with Al Hilal, what happens with other Champions League clubs? I'm not sure we can. I think we've got to be a little bit more robust in our search for a striker. And I like Osman. I really do like Osman, but I don't know that it's a player that we can afford to waste time on. Mike JW says, evening legends, Ekitique is vastly overpriced. He's also not good enough. Osman will not come. I don't see where we get the striker we need other than Gyökeres. We have got an update on that. Hello everybody, today's clip is supported by Sleeper. Before we dive in, let me tell you a bit more about Sleeper. This app is making serious waves. It was the #1 downloaded sports app in the US during the NFL season, even beating heavyweights such as ESPN and Yahoo. Sleeper isn't just popular, it's because they truly deliver the best fantasy experience. You get deeper customization, more league options, and all the bells and whistles that make managing your fantasy team a blast. But that's not all. Sleeper is growing a fantastic community with several million people using it daily for their sports fix. Sleeper has a broad appeal and is genuinely built for everyone. So, if you're looking to up your fantasy game, make sure to check out Sleeper by clicking the link in the video description. Trust me, you won't regret it. Connor's just watched Ekitique on YouTube. Sign him up. Look, I mean, we will talk about Gyökeres in a little bit because I want to get through some of the more relevant breaking news that we've had today. But look, I think there's a lot of people saying, and this is the simple, I nearly said simpletons, I don't want to offend people in the first 5 minutes. This is the simplicity of transfer windows and that people don't understand when they don't acknowledge the complexity. You don't get Gyökeres, so you get people on a Saturday night going, right, all in on Osman. And you just sort of like go, yeah, that deal's harder than Gyökeres. That deal's harder. Okay, Gyökeres may prefer a move to Arsenal because of the Champions League. And you got United fans going, fuck him, forget him. If he doesn't want United, forget him. But then you've got Osman who's probably going, well, I've not just got Arsenal. I've got 6 or 7 clubs. How much are you going to pay me? I'd rather have a player that's saying, I'd prefer Arsenal because of the Champions League than a player that's going, how much are you going to pay me? So the Osman deal is not as simple as just moving towards the Osman deal, is it? It's also about how many other clubs are in, how much games are going to get played. Remember that his agent has linked us to Manchester United, has linked him to Manchester United off his own back a few times as well. So my personal opinion on it is, and I suppose I should give that, is I like Osman. I've always liked him. I've done multiple career modes over the years where I've put Osman up front for Man United. I think he was brilliant at Napoli. He did a very good job at Galatasaray, and I believe he's one of the best strikers in Europe. But I think that the baggage of... It feels like they want him to be the summer signing of the transfer window. It feels like they want to make this the big deal. Where's he going to go? Ooh, where's he going to go? And I do not think Man United can waste their time on that, because if you do, where do you end up? And that to me is the risk. How much time do you waste? And Thorsten says Danny Ings is free, and that's what I mean. If you miss out, where do you end up? Keel Robinson says, get a keeper, get a loan striker. We shouldn't rush. Who are you going to get on loan? I watched Ekitique. I think he could be a top striker, says Reflex. Look, let's talk Ekitique next, because this is sort of breaking news that's come out from Plettigol in the last 25 minutes, actually. So Manchester United have made contact with the management of Hugo Ekitique over the weekend and have expressed concrete interest. Concrete again. Man United are now in contract with Frankfurt and Ekitique. No decision has been made yet. Liverpool and Chelsea are still in the race. You know what worries me about this straight away is, obviously we legitimately have taken a look at Ekitique over the last few days, probably because we're worried about the Gyökeres deal. So look, if the lap's plan A, and let's leave that there, and Gyökeres is plan B, and Ekitique is plan C, then, I mean, realistically, as a plan C, it ain't bad. And you know, I know these people saying we shouldn't do it. But as a plan C, it's not a bad. If somebody said to me, Ekitique is our plan C back in February, and I said, bloody hell, what's plan B and plan A? So as a plan C option, I'm not going to sit here and say that's bad. I mean, he's a good player. I get the Isak comparisons, not because he's like Isak, but because he is like Isak in the sense that when you look at where Isak was in La Liga, more of a flair player, and then he came to the Premier League and he started scoring a load of goals. I can see that potential there. He's a bit more individualistic than a traditional goal-scoring striker. But the problem with Ekitique is that it's a lot of money. It's 100 million euros. And I've always observed that on That's Football when it was Chelsea and Liverpool going for him and gone, that's a lot of money. That is a lot of money for a he's going to be 23 in the next few days. But for a 23-year-old to go for 100 million euros from Eintracht Frankfurt, that's not right. That's not right. And I know Wirtz has gone from Leverkusen for over that, but this is the Bundesliga. This is the Autobahn. This is the Bundesliga. And since when were players from Frankfurt going for 100 million euros? Mamouche went for half of that. Now, I can't remember what the contract situations were. I don't know what contract Ekitike's got. He's probably, if we're being completely honest, contracted till at least 2028, but I'll just double check on that. 2029. So it's a massive contract, so you can understand why they want a lot of money. But it is a lot of money. Now, you drop him into a Manchester United shirt, and what happens? Pressure, foreign, media, rivals. It's a lot of pressure for a player to go up front, and he's only a year older than Rasmus, by the way. So it's a lot of pressure for a player that literally isn't a goal scorer. Goldbridge, that's the end of the clip. I'm sure you enjoyed it. In fact, I bet that's the best clip you've ever watched. So there's no reason not to subscribe to the channel, click the bell icon so you never miss a clip again. In fact, smash a like on the video because we all know only legends like videos and you are all legends. So please smash a like on the video and we will see you again on the next one. Thank you very much for watching as always.